You might not believe it, but this gas tank of the truck, which is now distorted and twisted, was actually still good before. However, while passing through a village, the driver collided with a fire, and as a result, the gas tank was hit multiple times by the corner of the aluminum truck, causing serious deformation. Normally this type of gas tank would be sent straight to the junkyard and replaced with a new one, but the worker here said it could be repaired for a cheaper price, making it much more economical than replacing it. And so, after a skilled performance by the masters, this seemingly discarded gas tank was perfectly restored to like new. Watching the entire process is truly astonishing. To make it easier to handle, the first thing the worker does is drain all the remaining gasoline inside. Once drained, despite its large size, the gas tank is no longer heavy and the worker can easily push it with just one hand. He pushed it into the workshop and removed the bolt from the vent hole on the tank to balance the pressure inside and outside. Then he started to tap along the metal seam with a small hammer, cutting little by little in the middle to prepare to saw the tank in half. Because there was still some leftover fuel inside, using an angle grinder to cut would create sparks and high temperatures, easily causing an accident. Therefore, to avoid an early trip to the great beyond, the wise worker chose to use a chisel and hammer for manual operation. Going slower but surely is the safer choice. When he finished cutting, he discovered that the fuel tank was not empty but contained two baffles inside, which are the anti-slosh plates commonly found in large fuel tanks. Their role is to reduce the force and dampen the movement of the fuel inside, helping to prevent strong swaying that affects stability when the vehicle is in motion. To easily reshape it, these two shields also need to be cut away. After removing it, the inside of the vessel shows a distorted shape, wrinkled in all directions. With the preparation stage complete, I can finally start the actual repair process. And as is often seen, top craftsmen usually only use the simplest tools. The craftsman inserts a wooden stick into the vessel, and then uses a large hammer to strike the deformed areas from the inside. Each blow looks very strong, but in reality most of the force is reflected and absorbed, leaving him tired without any noticeable improvement. He continues to stack two wooden boards on top to create a better leverage, trying again with stronger and more precise force, but the progress remains slow. At this point he realizes the real problem. Without hesitation, he decides to cut away the remaining shield inside. Once both shields were removed, he continued to use wooden blocks to reshape it, and this time the effect was immediately noticeable. It's true that if you think outside the box, there are always more ways than difficulties. Once you have the right direction, everything becomes much easier. The gas tank gradually restored itself before everyone's eyes. Under the skilled hands of the craftsman, the deformed edges on top were quickly straightened out, but that was just the first step. To fully restore the original round and even shape, the next step is to place the tank on a E-shaped metal beam. Using a small hammer to tap evenly on the surface, slowly reshaping the tank into a full round cylinder like it was before. So under the patience and meticulous shaping of the craftsman, after 2 hours, finally, the two twisted and deformed sections of the gas tank were restored to their original even cylindrical shape. Once this is completed, they can start assembling the two sections together. Before assembly, the old end caps also need to be welded back using the flame-only welding method. This step requires the worker to be even more careful and precise to ensure a secure joint, to avoid fuel leakage during use. After all the end caps are securely welded, the two fuel tank sections can be joined together. And once again, the flame-only welding method is used this time to seal the entire joint between the two parts. And so, under the skilled hands of the worker, the two fuel tank sections have been successfully welded and assembled. The welding line appears very even and neat. At this point, the repair process for this severely deformed truck fuel tank has been completed. One must admire the worker's excellent technique and impressive creativity. So how many points would you give for this type of repair?